Welcome. My name is Britton Pruitt. I am the Development Director at the Albuquerque Christian Children's Home, and today is the annual open house and barbecue that we do every year. This is our 50th anniversary year, and we are glad to have you aboard. We are a 501c3 nonprofit ministry to house abused, neglected, and abandoned children, and we accept no state or federal funding, so we need your support, we need donations, and what we're going to show you today is we're going to show you the campus, we're going to show you past residents, past house parents, present house parents, present children, and we're going to show you the stuff that we need, and we're going to give you every opportunity to be able to do that. We need your support. We need your donations because we can't exist any other way. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the children of ACCH who would like to say something to you.
Hi, Carlene.
Hello.
It is good to see you.
You as well.
Folks, this is Carlene. She lived here at our children's home, and now she's grown up and in college. And I just asked her if she would share some of what she went through when she lived here, good and bad, and tell our folks what we do and how we helped you.
Well, I moved to ACCH when I was 12 years old. It was definitely something I was not expecting, but it turned out for the better. When I first moved here, it was not what I expected at all. Just the environment and the culture, that was a big culture shock for me. I didn't like it at first because of the whole church, but eventually learning to make friends in the church kind of helped me to form a relationship with God, and so that was something that I still hold, I guess. And I now go to Oklahoma Christian and am a nursing major, and so the children's home has helped me a lot with that. And a couple of the house parents here I still come back and talk to, and I was an intern here with the kids, and that was a lot of fun. It was really different because just being a kid here and then telling the kids what to do was really weird, but it was definitely really interesting and something that I'll always remember. And it's been a great experience.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Carlene. We miss you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Welcome to our home. We are so glad that you decided to join us today. My name is Alicia O'Rear. I am the administrative assistant here at Albuquerque Christian Children's Home. We have been a children's home here for 50 years this year, and we could not have gotten as far as we have without the faithfulness of God or your generous support. If you wish to donate to our children or our ministry at any point during this video, you can just click the donate button right there on your screen. And we also would like to give a huge shout out to Rudy's. They have been an incredible partner with us for many years at our open house and barbecue. They always bring us food, and they didn't fail this year either. So if you would like to support them, please go and buy your food from Rudy's today. And especially those in Albuquerque, today only, Rudy's is doing a promotion for Albuquerque Christian Children's Home. You can go to Rudy's and buy your food, and they will donate 10% of the proceeds to ACCH. There is a downloadable code on Facebook and on our website that you can print that off, take that to get your order, and you will be able to donate to us that day. But you have to do it today only. 10% of those sales will go to us. And finally, 100% of the proceeds from today's video that is raised will go to our general operating fund to keep us running for years. So now I invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy your meal with us as we hear a little bit about our ministry, as we see some of our past staff, residents and our present house parents as they talk about our ministry. Please enjoy.
Hello, my name is Everett White. I'm the Executive Director here at Albuquerque Christian Children's Home. We'd like to welcome you today to our annual barbecue. We've been here for 50 years and it is our annual barbecue that we usually have an open house. This year we're going to do it a little different in that we normally have hundreds of people here on campus, but today it's just going to be us and y'all watching us from your home. We welcome you and thank you for watching. I'd like to tell you just a little bit about the home. We started receiving children in 1970. These children came to us for all different reasons, and of course as we do today, we have a mission, and that is to love them, hug them, teach them about God and Christ, and to give them food and protection and let them know that they're special. We did it back then and we do it again and still today. And we'll do it in the future with your help. We'd like to tell you about some things that are going on a little differently. Just like everybody else in the world, there's been a lot of illnesses and things that have happened that we never knew would happen. Same here. Fortunately, God has blessed us. We have not had illness on our campus. Our children have been beautiful. As you can see in the background, they still are having a good time, feel very protected, and are enjoying life. We would like to tell you about what we're trying to do though this year that's going to be a little different, and where we need your help, your support. We're going to have a school on campus, which we never thought we would do, but with the new environment that is going on, APS, the Albuquerque Public Schools, has offered us the ability to have what is called E-Academy. And that is where we have school class here on campus. We are hiring 2 teachers that are professional to come in on our campus and to teach our children. We're setting up our VOTEC, and we'll be setting up a classroom there and teaching our children our normal education with the help of Albuquerque Public Schools. It will be accredited by them, and so when they finish the year, it will be normal. They will have learned all that they were going to learn that year. They will be taught each and everything. They'll have music, recess, Bible, all the different things. Maybe that's not from APS, but we will teach Bible. And we'll be teaching math and English and everything that would be normal. And then at the end of the day, of course, they'll be finished. We will have pads that they will be able to study off of, that the teacher will relate to them the lessons, and we will have a large TV that the teacher from APS that will zoom in and give them instructions for the day and at the end of the day. So it'll be an interesting thing, new to us, and unfortunately a little more expensive than normal. So it's not something we budgeted for, so we do need your help and your support. Mostly we need your prayers, because it is something new, and prayers to keep us safe again, continuing safe. We've been very, very blessed that we have not had any illness on campus. Not with the house parents, not with the children, not with the office staff. We've just been very, very blessed, and we're thankful for that. We'd like to thank each and every one of your donors, whether or not you've done in-kind donations or financial donations. We're grateful for it. We need to continue to grow and continue to go, and we want to do that and help children. We love children. You know, there's nothing more pleasant in my heart to hear these kids just laugh and enjoy life. It's great. It's great. I wish you could be here to hear them, but you will be. You'll be here right now. You'll be here in all these different things that we're going to show you in our open house. These children playing and eating and enjoying life. And because of your donations and your help, You have kept us going and can keep us going with that. Please remember, whatever you remember this is about the children. And remember, we are about God's work. You're about God's work. You love children. We love children. It's our mission. Thank you, and enjoy the day.
I'm Jake Lovato.
And I'm Tanya Lovato.
We were house parents in Cottage 3 in 1984 and 85.
Relate a story. What's one of the favorite stories and memories that you shared, or that you can think of with a child when you were here?
We had been here probably 6 months. We came out in June, and at Christmas, I mean, people really talked about rewarding and how rewarding it was going to be, and I didn't understand what rewarding was. To me, a reward was you got something, something tangible in your hand. But kids were really looking forward to Christmas, and I can't remember if we went and cut a tree or if we bought a tree or somebody donated a tree, but I remember the kids all decorating the tree. And my thing was that I always put all the lights on, and then the kids put decorations on. I had all the lights all set just right. And
it was a big tree. It was large.
Yeah. It's like, that's another thing. It had to be a big tree. We don't do little trees. And so when I plugged the lights in, it wasn't the lights of the tree, it was their faces.
Okay.
The faces just lit up. They were so excited about it. That's one of the memories he always thinks about.
So you said something about rewarding. Can you expound on that? What kind of rewarding were you talking about?
Oh, just to see the kids and their face, the joy. And it's not the gifts, it's their hearts growing.
So, and rewarding as far as what God did for you in regards to the kids while you're here, can you expound upon that?
I mean, we're still getting rewards.
Yeah.
I think our biggest one is now to see the kids come back and reach out to us and seeing them as responsible, God-loving adults.
Yeah.
Even if you had them a short time, they may have stayed here after we left, they may have left while we were here, but to hear their stories and they're passing it on God to their children, they may have missed that generation if they weren't here. And I think that's a big reward when we hear back from the kids as adults.
Sweet. So in regards to you hearing back from the kids and you're thinking back towards the kids and the experiences that you had with them, was there any struggles that you faced as a house parent that you can remember?
How much time you got?
As much time as you want.
Well, one thing with Jake mentioned, we were young. We were in our very early 20s, and we had 16, 17-year-olds that were tough. And there wasn't a big age difference between us. And we had a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, so we were used to teenagers.
Yeah.
And so that part was tough. And then we had classes and we had the support of the staff, and to learn how to deal with it was interesting. And we grew a lot. But I think that was the hard thing, is very small age gap.
Okay.
Yeah, the age gap was one thing, and then you had to keep the kids busy, and they were all on different levels. I mean, we had kids that struggled in school, and we had one young boy at the time he was bored and he was getting bad grades, and we pursued Tanya's, got him into the gifted program, and he was so wound up all the time. And since we always had donations, I said, David, take this egg beater apart. He would take it completely apart and then put it back together. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. He is an instructor at Stanford University right now and does research for me.
Wow.
He was teaching at Columbia University. Wonderful kid.
He needed something to challenge him, I guess.
And that young man, and we had not talked to him, I don't know, he was, I guess, probably in the 90s, maybe we talked to him for a short time, and he reached out to us a couple weeks ago on Facebook,
and thanked us for his experience here and what we did for him. And it was just out of the blue. Like I said, we haven't talked to him in 30, 40 years, and now he's, an adult man, and was appreciative of his time here, and that was just so rewarding to hear from him.
So just a follow-up question with all that. Had you explain how that impacted you after you left here? Like,
how did it impact us?
Yeah, how did it
we
impact
grew so much.
your life?
I mean, we were young when we consider ourselves good, strong Christians, but I think that really just was more of a foundation for us in giving, receiving, and sharing, and being good examples, and teaching work ethic.
Better parents.
We were
better skilled. We learned things.
We learned a lot. We learned. I mean, don't ask to learn about patience because you'll sure enough get it. We were challenged many times, and sometimes I wouldn't say we made the right decisions, but we made the best decisions we could as young house parents. But I mean, we see the blessing now of the adults that we have. Omar is one of our oldest foster kids that we had at the time, but we're technically great grandparents.
Yeah, I guess so.
And his sister, Angelica, comes over and brings the family, and the kids are important in our lives, and it's just a great networking of more family added to our family.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Amy. She was our 3-year-old at the time, and we went to do mission work in Haiti, and on the way back we got to see her. That was probably 10 years ago. After
not hearing from her for
20 years minimum.
And then reconnecting with her again and seeing her kids. So it's very rewarding.
And so we still stay in contact with her. So it's nice to have that connection. They learned that you have to work to get things done in your life, and we can see that in Omar, we can see that in Angelica, we can see that in David now, and just all these kids that just grew up. I mean, it's a foundation. Those are seeds that just are reproducing.
Yeah. So just one final question, and just kind of a follow-up question with what you've been talking about. Why did you decide to become house parents?
I'm sorry?
Why did you decide to become house parents?
We had a foster child, Amy, and then Larry Williams, I don't know if he asked me or it was in the church about doing it, and then brought up the verse in James about helping the orphans, and so I brought it up to Jake that we should consider this, and we did.
Yeah, we did.
It was a good experience.
It was a great experience. It's not for everybody, but it's as people think about the house parents and doing that, but if you're donating, you're a part of this. You're a big part of this. I mean, people are just so supportive that we're always there for it.
Tell me a little bit about yourselves and introduce yourselves.
I'm Sharon Brown.
Hi, I'm Dennis Brown. We met in 1989.
Not that far back. Don't start that far back. We're in Cottage 2.
And we lived in every house.
We've lived in every cottage on campus.
Yes, we have.
Think back in your fondest memories of a child or 2, 3, however you want to share, about your fondest memories of some children that were here on campus.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's one that keeps showing up, and so I probably remember him the best. It's Jonathan. He was a tough teenager, and we had our struggles for a little while, but it seemed to win him over with my cooking. And so, as long as there was plenty of food to eat, Jonathan was fine. There was one time when he got really mad, so I went to the director at the time and begged him, "Don't kick him out, please don't kick him out." And they didn't. But at 21, they had to kick him out. But he's done really well, and he comes around all the time. He always knows the spaghetti's on the table. So sometimes
Parents,
sometimes the logistics of getting kids from A to B, and then trying to adjust it with counseling and tutoring and school, and of course now with all this news coming up, that's a whole new story. But I think it doesn't take a lot to finally convince a child that you're genuine, but it does take time, and there's no reason to expect that when they walk in the door they're going to do what you say just because you said. They have no reason to, and you have to build a relationship before you can have any kind of discipline or cooperation, and it takes a while, and you have to have patience to do that.
Mutual respect to build that.
Yeah. And they're all different, and so what works for one doesn't work for the other.
Right. So, lastly, tell me how you saw God at work through you, through the children, through ACCH while you were here.
The freezer was getting pretty low, and with the beef and the pork, and we were doing okay, but normally, we didn't get that low, and it was kind of worrisome. And so Dennis and I went to the 4-H auction, and our friend Dennis Snyder was there, and I had grown up with him, and so the first steer, he said, "Do you want that one?" "Okay, thank you." And then there was another steer. "Okay." And I'm thinking, what are we going to put on this? And then the pigs came, and there 2 pigs, 3 pigs, 4 pigs. Well, I had to stop at 5 because I didn't know what we were going to do with all the pork chops. But we were so blessed that they had to purchase 2 more deep freezers to put all the meat in. And it lasted us a long, long time. And so, we'd had no clue what was going to happen. We'd never been to an auction. We didn't know anything about it. It's just, but if people have a heart for children and they have a heart for God and they see an opportunity, they use it, and he's always come through. So.
And of course I had to remember the time when I was on crutches and baptized Carlene at Ponderosa Camp, which I didn't know I was going to get into the creek at that time. But God provided, it was a glorious day.
Yeah. We've had an opportunity he's had an opportunity to baptize a few children.
That's neat. Please do, Bill.
I had a phone call this last week from a young gal that lived here, and she needed advice for her 16-year-old daughter. So that's a long relationship, and she was, "Did I act like that?" "Yes, you did." And it was just really comical, but it was heartwarming that she would pick up the phone and call me. And I talked to her, several times a year. But
so my name is Chris Westfall, the house parent here in Cottage 3, and growing up was kind of raised around a boys ranch, and was kind of intrigued with the way that they operated and how well kids would turn out from bad situations. So found out about ACCH and thought maybe it should be time for a career change, and with God's prompting and the way things kind of hit our life, it just turned out that we applied for the job, and here we are.
I'm Jen Westfall, house parent in Cottage 3. And so some of the things that have been helpful to us to be strengthened in that sense have been our volunteers, people to come and help us, our churches, our friendships, our grown-up friendships help us and guide us in that direction, how to be there for the kids who need so much. A lot of training has been helpful, and then the kids hugs, and when they come back around to us, and we know, whew, okay, we're doing the right thing because they're safe and they love it here. And they love ACCH, and it's good stuff all the way around.
I'm Sherry Carlisle, and I'm the house mom in Cottage 1, and we have 9 kiddos from 3 years old up to 12 years old, and we absolutely see God in everything that we're doing, from the volunteers that come and help us. We have people that come every day after school last year to read with our kids and help us do homework, to the healing process that we see happening with our kids. They come to us, and some of them can barely function. They don't eat well, they don't sleep well, they can't interact with us even, or the other kids in our house. And to see the progress that God works through us and through the people on our campus to help those children heal, to become happy, loving, fun, playful kids is absolutely amazing to see.
My name is Josh Carlisle. I'm the house dad here at Cottage 1. What brings me joy? Sorry. What I enjoy about this job is seeing the growth that the kids have while they're here, seeing how far they can progress, just watching the kids go from no self-esteem to lots of self-esteem to not knowing how to read or identify what a pineapple is to doing those things. It's very impressive for me to see how far these kids come while they're here.
And it all started at the children's home. It really did.
Cool.
It really did. Just having those relationships with the churches and things like that, it all began here.
Who were your house parents?
So I had a couple. Teresa and Wayne Bartley were my first house parents. Then it was the Mullins. They were my house parents as well. But I think that like the ones that I was more closest were Teresa and Wayne Bartley.
Okay.
But we also built relationships with like Jake and Tanya, because Jake would come out and do projects with us. And yeah, and they still have a relationship with my children. In fact, they have grown to have a relationship with them. She bakes with my daughters since they were little.
Cool.
Yeah, so the children's home was a little bit more than just at that time. It has actually followed me through life, and I'm surrounded by really good people because of the children's home.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
What years were you here?
Oh my goodness, around the 80s. I think that me and my sibling were the ones that stayed here quite a little bit longer than anybody else.
Okay.
From what I know.
So you were in Cottage 3, that's the one we're in today.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and I haven't been in it in a long time.
And you said it changed. In what ways did it change?
It looks very different. We don't have our big table.
Yeah.
Which always a lot of memories on that table. But yes, the time that you have with your family over dinner. So.
What's your fondest memory?
My fondest memory is the birthdays.
Oh.
I had my first birthday cake at the children's home. So it was really important that I'm a big birthday person now. Because of that time that I got my first birthday cake, and I got a card, and they always make me feel very special because I got to pick out dinner, and it was all about me that day. The house parents and everybody just made it all about me at that moment.
Oh, that's cool. So, looking back, what do you see as as your experience, what the biggest struggle you had and how you grew through it?
Having to have to change house parents.
Oh.
That was my biggest. You just grow fond of the person that, just shows you so much love and so much care, and it's unconditional love.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, I was not very easy to love. I was a little difficult to love, but I was still very, very loved, and it was shown. So it's just the change, I think, of house parents.
I guess somebody not living through that wouldn't really understand how hard that would be.
You create a bond.
Yeah.
And I think, but, you know, the children's home always made like good decisions. So they try to make the best, easiest transition that they can. So they did help, but that was my struggle, my personal struggle.
Tell me how you saw God working to help you through your time here.
Oh my goodness, my whole entire life has been by the grace of God. So I learned a lot. There is a seed that was planted in me by the teachings that we had. In fact, at the kitchen on our table was where we had Bible studies, where we learned, we grew, prayer. It was just so many different occasions that I got to learn about God. It was at camp. It was just surrounded with love and just teaching us about how God loves us and how God works through people to show us his love, that we end up having that seed just grow within us, and we take it with us. Even after we leave the children's home, we just can grow to be better people.
That's good.
We know that we have choices. We know God that has given us these choices, that we can actually be better people, and we can pay it forward, or we can do better for somebody else. And the biggest thing is love. I got to learn about love.
That's good. Christian love.
Oh, Christian love is beautiful. It's unconditional. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I learned, is how to love unconditionally. And, you know, we were never judged. Like I said, I was a little bit difficult to love, and I was never judged. They never had any judgment or any high expectations. They just wanted to go ahead and show me love. So that's the biggest thing that I learned. There was many, many times that I was strong-willed. I guess you could call it. I was very, very strong-willed.
We don't have any of that around here.
I was very strong-willed, and I had an attitude, and they still didn't stop loving me. In fact, there was a time that I think that I tried to push people away. But
Yeah, I can see that.
the house parents did not give up on me. The children's home did not give up on me. None of them did. So I think that was I have to say thank you. I have to say thank you to everyone that is involved, if it's by working in the office, by working as a house parent, by donating. Just, I have to say thank you, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Okay.
And one other thing is, the children's home just didn't stop there. It trickled down to my next generation. Even the punishing parts, the chores, it trickles down to the next generation, because whether we believe it or not, at the time, is when we become parents, we take all those seeds that were planted within me, we take it and we teach our children. So I didn't have any other way of learning anything else, but the love that the children's home gave me is that I was able to trickle it down to my children. And trust me, when they got in trouble, they had to wash all the dishes and do everybody's chores in the house, just like I did.
How many kids do you have, and how old are they?
I have 3 daughters, and I have, one is 25, 24, and 22.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were strong-willed as well, like their mother. so I was able to remember a lot of things from the children's home. So, like I said, I'm just extremely thankful to everyone.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate that you came out and spent time with us today. We are definitely grateful that you are our donors, our sponsors, and that you can see the wonderful things that we're doing here at ACCH. The only reason we can do this is because of you, your support, your donations, and we welcome them and we need them. As you can see, I'm holding up a sign that shows the coupon that you're going to need to go to Rudy's and download. It's going to give you 10% or 10% of the proceeds will go to us. Once again, we thank you very much. We hope you have a great day and God bless you.